Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray back here after a week off. Happy holidays to everybody. We got an hour before the Celtics tonight in Miami Heat. Here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm going to react to the Patriots. Yesterday, I had a chance to do it during postgame with Leroy Irvin yesterday. And while I've had some time to digest, because yesterday I was upset. I was not happy with that game. And just to set the expectation, I covered the spread. I took the Patriots 2.5. So I should have been happy. But I'm at a point now where wins matter. This season, it was Jacoby Brissett early on. They got a win at the beginning of the year, and everybody was like, whoa. And then it was loss. When are we going to see Drake May? Finally, the kid can play. How many times this year have you seen the coaching staff let him down? How many times? Because it happened again yesterday. There's 4 more games to go this year. What else do you need to see from Gerard Mayo to let you know that him and the staff are incapable of making good decisions? Do you really need 4 more games? Here's the other thing. You're 3-10. Win total was 5.5. You're at 3. Your next 4 opponents. Ooh, we'll tell you who those are coming up in just a little bit. The phone number here is 617-779-0985. What's up to our YouTube fam? I haven't talked to them in over a week. What's up, fam? You can join us on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/985 The Sports Hub. Skaz is back. I see him back there, and our intern, Joe, as well, as we get you going here for the next hour on The Sports Hub. But a 25-24 loss to the Colts. Here was the difference in the game, everybody. One coach played to win the game, while the other tried not to lose. The Patriots outgained the Colts 422 yards at 253. They won the turnover battle, right? Time of possession, they almost won by 9 minutes. Yards per play. They completed 80% of their passes. They went 6 for 11 on third down. They punted once in the game, and it was a bad punt, by the way. And they lost. 4th and goal, game on the line. The Colts couldn't get lined up right. Richardson was struggling to get the ball snapped. And with 2 seconds left on the play clock, Gerard Mayo calls timeout. I was flipping out in the studio. I was watching the game live here. Why do you let them do that? Let them screw it up on a 4th down. Why give them time to create a play, which they did? Why give them time? Anthony Richardson on the final drive was elite. He had a horrible day. When it comes to numbers, awful. But the coaching staff trusted him late. They trusted him around the goal line. And they barely ever took the ball out of his hands. The Patriots lost another game at home, everyone. Home field advantage out. And all year long it's been, is it the players or it's the coaching staff? And no doubt about it, tis the season. Put a ribbon on that thing. It's coaching. Put a bow on it. The Patriots continue to fail Drake May. The coaching staff has done a nice job of getting him ready to play. But now it's about wins. Final 4 games of the year. Arizona on the road. Buffalo. Chargers. Buffalo. Yep. You all are shaking your head too because you know it. You know it. They can't win those games. They can't win them. I gave you under 5.5 wins this year. I said they would be the worst team in the NFL. The Jaguars might get it. But under 5.5 is real, everyone. And you know what else is real? Since Tom Brady's been gone, they've missed the playoffs 4 out of 5 seasons. And if you want to give them the making the playoffs and losing to Buffalo and getting whooped, sure, go ahead. The Patriots can no longer fail Drake May. The Crafts need to admit the mistake of Gerard Mayo, and they need to move on next season with this horrible, incompetent staff. And I've gotten pushback on this one already. Joe, what kind of message does that send to other people around the league if the Patriots fire a guy after 1 year? You know what the message shows? That you want to find the right guy. You're trying to sell us on someone that never was a coordinator. Why is it that I know stats that this guy doesn't? Why is it that I know that a 68-yard field goal has never been done? Why is it that Joe on the couch knows that, but Gerard Mayo doesn't? Why is it that Gerard Mayo doesn't look at the stats just from this year and from a rookie quarterback has thrown a Hail Mary this year? Why do I know that, but Gerard Mayo doesn't know the percentages? Mayo today, I heard this from Burt Breer, but Gerard Mayo reportedly still on solid ground to return as Patriots head coach next year. I hate it. If that's the case, the Crafts need to look in the mirror. They need to take responsibility because they're the reason why this team is where it is. They have the biggest role in where the Patriots are at. And as a fan and as someone who watches this pathetic team week in and week out, they're failing Drake May. The most positive thing about this year is you have a quarterback who can play, but can he win? Can the QB win? Because the coaches don't set him up for it at all. This is literally stuff you should know in high school and in college, and this is the NFL. Literally the NFL, where you're not playing percentages, and I dare someone to look up the two-point conversion. Were the Patriots in a goal line? Did they have 5 corners on the field? They were never prepared. Never. Oh, May will be back next year. Oh, it's pretty solid ground. Oh, they're going to support him a little bit. You know, give him a veteran guy here and there. No. This thing will only change when the Crafts admit their mistake. It will only change when they do that. So I don't want to hear about Mayo and his solid ground because the next 4 games are going to be terrible to watch. And it should convince everyone that Drake May is the way, not Gerard Mayo. And we've seen this before, right? Just to give you an analogy here. Look at Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. He's got a pretty decent coach, but overall, they get no support from their ownership. That guy's wasting away his career. Look at Justin Herbert before this, huh? Remember their coach? Always made terrible decisions that cost them playoff games or to even go to the playoff. But you bring in a good coach, look at Justin Herbert now. In the end, with quarterbacks, it's about wins. We're over we're over that. It's about winning football games. They don't have a guy in charge that can do that. And you lost to Shane Steichen? Him with Anthony Richardson, who beat you on a game-winning drive, who, by the way, did it 2 weeks ago against the Jets, but you let it happen at home. It all falls on coaching. They have had the personnel this year to win multiple games that they haven't. Multiple. So I don't want to hear about the line or the receivers or any of that. They need a coach. A real coach, one that's actually scouted, knows analytics, knows history, things that have happened, because this guy doesn't. But it starts with the Crafts. They need to admit a mistake, and everyone knows they won't. And that's why when they do it, that's when things will change here. We'll lead it off there at 617-779-0985. We're here until 7 o'clock, and we'll hand things over to Grandy and Max. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. You found the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Gerard Mayo admitted right there. Admitted. He didn't know the numbers. But yet, Joe on the couch, Joe in the studio in the a-hole chair, knew no one's ever hit a 68-yarder. I could even tell you that Jaden Daniels just a few weeks ago threw a Hail Mary, remember? A rookie quarterback. Why are the Patriots taking the ball out of Drake May's hands? Why do you have Kendrick Bourne throwing last week or, a little bit of a cutie pie, Jacoby Brissett take a snap? Stop taking the ball out of Drake May's hands. This is where I'm going with it, everyone. The best player on the team, the coaching staff, is taking the ball out of his hands and leaving it to a kicker. A kicker. He's taking the ball out of Drake May's hands for a kicker. I think that's what set me off yesterday, Skaz. I think that was the moment when I said, Drake May, kicker. Drake May, kicker. He didn't know the numbers. What does Gerard Mayo know? Now this is, we're 13 weeks in. What does Gerard Mayo know? So we have some clips. We're going to play these for you. I just wanted to let you know, it was a great week of football, or was it? I don't know yet. I mean, Thanksgiving Day, you saw the train wreck that happened with Caleb Williams and Eberflus and that whole Bears thing. And then Mayo goes to tell you, yep, called my guy Evan Rothstein and be like, hey, how do we handle that situation? You guys aren't already doing that in practice? Are you not already doing that in practice? Please, I am trying to convince you all. Please listen to me. Don't take the word of reporters who probably are getting fed. And some of the reporters, Burper in particular, he's tied in. The guy is tied in. But he is going to relay the message to everyone on this radio station that Gerard Mayo is safe and they're going to try to build around him. You should not want that. There's not enough outcry of, you found your franchise quarterback. Can you find a franchise coach now and stay the hell out of it? Like, Gerard Mayo has to get with people when situations happen elsewhere to figure out how they're going to handle it because they're not already doing it. Do you know Mayo ruined both sides of the halves yesterday? Before the half, it was awful. That was terrible. And then the end of the game, both halves ruined by him. Do we? We already mentioned the percentages. How about, do we have Mayo on challenges, Skaz? Hey, this one also got me yesterday. Why doesn't the guy ever throw a challenge flag? Like, you knew when Bill threw his, right? It was in his stinky sock, and he would throw it. Mayo's thrown it 3 times this year. 3 times. And yesterday, Drake May's running, and by the way, the slide wasn't great. The ref was a little short on the slide, all right? So just throw the flag. This was Gerard Mayo on the flags.
Gerard, there was a few minutes to go. I think it was a 3rd and 8 catch by Mallory. Looked like it might have wobbled from our perspective. You decided not to challenge that, but I think you had 3 timeouts at that point. Did you consider that? What went into that decision?
We were waiting to see the replay. Never really got a clear shot of it, so I didn't challenge it.
Help your defense, bro. Experienced coaches know to do that because guess what? Maybe now it's like 3rd and 13 or whatever it was, right? 4th down. It would have been 4th and 13. This is why I was fired up yesterday. We're reliving horrible decision making that no longer can go on. So for the next 4 weeks, have at it, Haas. This guy should not be back next year. It's not his fault. It's the Crafts. It's the Crafts. We didn't get a good replay. Why? Is your guy Rothstein not good enough? He's not fast enough? How about you just throw it anyways? You missed me, Skaz? I was gone all last week.
I can tell, Joe, you're refreshed after a week off, coming back ready to go.
What'd you think of that one?
Yeah, I thought it was awful. I thought he botched both halves, just like you said. I'm with you. A 68-yard field goal in the cold is not exactly a high percentage play. In fact, it's never happened before. So I would say the Hail Mary is obviously the play there, in my opinion. However you feel about the Hail Mary, as low percentage as it has happened. 68-yard field goal in the cold has not happened.
Ever.
I know that's...
But we know that. How do we know that? How do you and I know that, but they don't?
They're supposed to be smarter than us, Joe. I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you.
Like when they take shots at radio hosts, I'm going to bring up this moment.
How about Joey Sly blaming the ground or the holder there? Did you like that one?
Did he really?
You didn't see his reaction afterwards?
He blamed the holder?
He certainly looked like he was looking for somebody to blame.
By the way, Bryce Behringer's sneaky been sucking.
6:26, and we're doing punter talk. That's the state of the Patriots right now.
Don't you know he's the leading vote getter for the Pro Bowl for the Patriots?
Speak once again, speaks volumes to the talent on the Patriots roster.
Let's look for another one here. How about not using timeouts, guys? Do we have any Gerard Mayo on not using? And I know he did a thing this morning, so we only have what we have. But what about the timeouts? We got that one?
Coach, was there any thought to taking a timeout maybe earlier in the drive where the Colts ultimately scored, and what was the thought process?
Look, absolutely, there was a thought. We've also won a Super Bowl here, doing it the other way, and keeping our timeouts is what I thought was best for the team.
Oh no! So I happened to miss that one yesterday because I was so aggravated. He really went there. They really went there. We've also won a Super Bowl here doing it that way. We bro. We. Did he really bring up Seattle? He really did, huh? So I don't feel. Where did this all come from? Because Matt Patricia, remember? He got the whole offensive line of Detroit. You know? This has to be coming from the Crafts. I'm telling you. Listen to me, people. They need a new franchise leader. This isn't Mayo's fault. He's not capable. He's not capable because he's never been a coach. Why do you think he was never the defensive coordinator? If you give me, because Bill wanted to hire his kid. No, he hired his kid because no one else could do it. He really brought up Seattle. I think today he regretted it, though. So, again, the next day, I regret. It's another one, Skaz? It's like, hey, show was great until, things went off the rails at about 10:30. Besides that, though, excellent show. We have Gerard Mayo once again saying, if you take out the last drive yesterday.
Gerard, would you categorize this as a game that guys, should win, should be able to close out?
Look, it comes down to execution. I think we should win every game. That's just my mentality, and we just got to get better.
But if we take out the last drive of the game, it'd be fantastic. Gerard, if I just, I could give you a million examples of my life like that. Hey, if I didn't eat that pizza over the weekend, maybe I would, maybe my shirt would fit better today, Oh, what's the other ones, guys? Oh, he really liked Layden Robinson's play yesterday. Thought it was his best game, huh? What was there any PFF stats on that one? I'm pretty sure they gave the PFF grades yesterday.
Yeah, I've said all along, like we have good backs, and we just have to get them started. I would say just the mentality. If we don't have a good running game, it starts up front. The same thing here. It starts up front. And I thought Layden actually went out there and moved some bodies, and his physicality and definitely showed up the entire offensive line, and that's good to see. Just got to keep it going.
So PFF comes out with grades. Where must have been high on the list, huh? Layden Robinson?
Believe he was the lowest member of the Patriots offensive line on that list.
So Mayo thought it was his best day. This is what we're dealing with, everyone. It's all just verbal diarrhea. This is what it is. He's being fed something from above or doesn't know what to say and says the wrong thing constantly. 4 of their 5 worst players on offense were on the O-line yesterday, according to Pro Football Focus. Jalen Polk and the Jalen Polk and the rest of the offensive line. They were the worst. I don't know what else to tell you guys anymore. If you want to just say, hey, Joe, he's coming back, deal with it, I won't. I won't. They found their franchise quarterback. I watched this with Drew. I've watched this before. You're seeing it now with Joe Burrow. You saw it with Justin Herbert. Look at all these quarterbacks around. How about Matthew Stafford? Is that another one? Maybe that's an article, Joe, we can write later. Quarterbacks who played with sucky coaches, played with good ones, and what happened? Because I'll give you Stafford. I'll give you Goff if you want to. He didn't win yet, but still, he's been to 2 of them, right? No, he's been to 1. Sorry. He's won. I'm going to come up with a list, damn it. You can't let what happened with those guys happen with Drake May. All right, I see you guys lined up on the phone lines. Gabe, Benny, Ethan. We'll get to you right to you guys. I got to hit the headline real quick. Right to your calls after this. Number again, 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Patriots lose yesterday 25-24 to the Colts. Now they're on their bye week. They'll play in Arizona the next 2 weeks. The NFL released the current top 10 vote getters for the Pro Bowl and the On the Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. I got an hour tonight. Then we'll hand things over to Grandy and Max. Celtics and Miami. Got some thoughts on the green and the bees. We'll do that in the final segment. See your calls as well. Get to you guys in just a second here. But just wanted to mention, I thought Drake May was absolutely outstanding yesterday. I really did. People kind of got on me when I said that when Drake May threw the interception, I just brought up the fact that it was 8 interceptions on the year. I said it was 9, but people thought I was blaming Drake May. I mean, I don't know. When your short-handed tight end catches the ball, secure it. But did he throw it when no one else was? I mean, this is my whole thing with May. He threw it where only his receiver could get it. Was it a throw in traffic? Yes. So was it a high-risk play? Maybe because it's the goal line, but I didn't think so. I think Hunter Henry should have came down with that play. I do. But May, at the same time, threw it to where only his receiver could do so, and what happened, the worst that could happen, happened. So, again, I don't think it's Drake May's fault, but if we're talking about development and learning situations, maybe you don't drop it in that kind of bucket, or you throw it a little bit short of the sticks. So whatever, I'm not blaming him for it, but it was a turnover in the red zone, which happened again. Now, I don't know what drove me more crazy yesterday. The missed field goal early on, because that was the big difference in the game. The way that they managed the final drive of the half was awful. How many times? They settled for field goals 4 times. They had 2 touchdowns called back, a Wildcat touchdown, right? And a Drake May rushing touchdown. Was there another one? Gibson, maybe? The holding penalties were bad. It cost them, but it's not the reason why they lost the game. Not at all. So I push back on talent. I know the line's not great, but I just think these are all winnable games. All of them. At some point, though, we do need to start caring about wins. May looks good. He puts up great numbers. But with this coaching staff, he won't win. He won't win. And I'll just bring up Joe Burrow. I think we mentioned a couple of guys before the break. Wins are what matter in the league, and they're now what matters here. You could get away with it at the beginning of the year because you knew what the expectations were. But now that you have a guy, wins are important. I mentioned the final 4 games of the year. I'm interested to see how it's played out for Drake May's sake. But if they lose every one of these games here, how do you build a winning culture? How can you sell to me that Gerard Mayo is building a culture here when they've lost 7 straight games? How do you... This is where I'm going to keep saying this. The Crafts need to admit the mistake of hiring Gerard Mayo. They never went through a hiring process. Everybody on the staff is inexperienced. So many game situations come up they're not prepared for. Why? Experience. I'm not sitting here killing Mayo because of him personally. He doesn't have the experience. And again, what really bothers me is I know what's going on, guy on the couch, and he doesn't. That's a huge disconnect. If you're building a culture, how about a winning culture? Because the next 4 games, I don't foresee the Patriots winning. So how do you sell Gerard Mayo on a 7-game losing streak coming back next year? How? Losing the final 7 games? Yep. Coach is back, guys. Nothing to see here. I'm not having it. I will not be that guy on this radio station that does that. I won't settle for the report that he's fine. I won't do it. I respect the people that report it. But why? Why do you want to believe this? Why? Don't you want to start winning football games? I gave up my season tickets this year because I thought they were going to suck for a long time. You people who are still going, did you guys, by the way, did you see the stands yesterday? Joe, did you get free tickets offered to you yesterday? There's a lot of available tickets there. A lot. They don't win games anymore, people. They don't win games at home. I am not sitting here telling you that they won't win again or whatever. The only way they will is if they get a franchise coach. They don't have that here. They just don't have it. Look up the numbers. Last year, 4-13. This year, potentially 3-14. You want to keep selling me that winning that many games a year is good? I'm out. I won't do it. I will stand here every night. I will yell. I will scream. I will do it every single night. They need a franchise coach. I'm seeing it right now with the Chargers. I watched it this year with the Bears with the number 1 overall pick. Now they need a new coach. Don't fail Drake May. Don't screw this up. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Very adamant about this one. I don't need 4 more games to know if Gerard Mayo can coach. I don't need 4 more. You guys shouldn't either. You shouldn't even accept the fact that a report like that comes out. Oh, okay, Gammer. They're not going to fire Mayo. They're not going to fire Mayo. A 7-game losing streak? No, they're not going to fire him. You're all soft. Really, you're all soft if you believe that. Benny's in Oxford. Hi, Benny.
Hey, what's up, Joe? Missed you, first of all. And talking about the holding, I think a holding call took 1 touchdown off our second scoring drive, made us kick a field goal. But anyways, that's not what I called about. I was listening to you and Bedard yesterday, and made me think, so Mayo doesn't help out with the offense. That's AVP. He's waiting to make challenge calls upstairs, waiting to hear back from Rothstein on certain things. And I leave the defense last because I don't know what's more worrisome. He's watching Covington and his defense get worse. And 1, he's just watching and doing nothing. Or 2, behind the scenes, he's helping, and it's getting worse. So I don't understand. To your point, what has he done? Why are we keeping him? He's managing the game, right? I'm being sold that he's the CEO or something, letting other people manage. But everything he's managing he's doing crap.
Well, Benny, let's talk it out, right? If you want to give credit for the development of Drake May, would you give it to Gerard Mayo?
I can't give it to Gerard Mayo.
Okay, so if you want to talk about the demise of the defense, well, earlier in the year it was okay, right? But when things were bad, you might be right. Did Mayo start getting involved and now it's worse? Or how do we even evaluate that?
Yeah, exactly. So I was what's worse, him just watching it happen and not doing anything as a defensive-minded coach, or him helping behind the scenes and it's getting worse? What's more worrisome?
And I know it's hard to compare because all we know is really Bill Belichick. I don't remember Pete Carroll, who's a defensive-minded coach, sitting with defensive backs during games with a chalkboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Belichick did it, right? I mean, we at least saw that. Have you seen that with Mayo at all?
No.
I think Mayo, honest to God, and I'm joking when I say this, so please, he always looks like he's having trouble trying to talk to the right person on his headset.
Yeah, no, he looks lost out there. Again, with everything else, there's no feel for the game, and you've already talked about it. Challenges, timeouts, it doesn't matter. He is a complete goon right now out there, and Ben Johnson's available. Not that we'll ever get Ben Johnson, I don't think so. But if he's looking at just quarterback to quarterback, because I think he's been linked to the Bears, if you see Caleb Williams or Drake May, as Ben Johnson, who would you want to go with? But he wouldn't come here because one front office, and who knows what the hell he'd get for help.
The only thing I would say is this: I think I'd rather the Patriots ownership over the Bears, but that's starting to be questionable now, right?
Yeah. At least they threw wide receivers for Caleb Williams.
At least they spent money. They helped him in the draft.
Yeah.
You name it.
So,
and they've lost 3 straight games that were if they had a better coach, they'd probably win.
And yesterday's game was the biggest selling point for that.
Yep.
I think.
All right, Benny. Enjoy the Celtics.
Thank you.
All right, later. Ooh, Gabe's in West Roxbury. What do we got tonight, Gabe, for bets, my man?
Hey, Joe, how's it going? I love the takes. I agree with you. I just have to say May is looking good, and hopefully this will make Kraft go out and spend some money. All right, to the Celtics. The Celtics are the big men are out. It's just crazy. Butler's out. You got to get Bam with the points, rebounds. It was plus money earlier in the day. It's now minus 110, but over 25.5 points, I believe, for Bam, and then over 10.5 rebounds. I would even go 12 rebounds for plus 225. I really like Bam tonight.
That's it. Bam over 25.5 points and rebounds. And then
Bam, Pritch, and Jalen on over in points if you really want to bet.
Pritchard and Jalen?
Yeah. I mean, there's no – I mean, I like Pritchard. He's going to get decent minutes. But, I mean, even maybe Tata over 9.5.
Okay.
Hillman over 7.5. But no. Bam is my play.
All right. He's game in West
Thanks,
Roxbury,
Joe.
everybody. Thank you, sir. I'm taking that right now. Taking that right now. Hey, we'll try to wrap. We'll get you calls before we get out of here. We just got to take a quick break, then we'll hand things off to Grandy and Max. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray.
their Cavalier teeth. Cleveland stays on top of the NBA. They come from 14 down behind a brilliant fourth quarter from Donovan Mitchell, and they hang on to the NBA's best record. They beat the Celtics tonight by a final of 115 to 111.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Celtics coming up. Jaylen Brown will play tonight. There's also this weird thing about getting into the NBA Cup where if Boston wins over in the tiebreak over Orlando and then Milwaukee-Detroit game, and Orlando must lose by at least 37, and Detroit, do you care? Nobody cares. See, I was gone for a week. Nobody still cares. Nobody cares about the NBA Cup. Nobody does. Just wanted to mention something on the Bruins quickly. They scored in the third period finally. I was going to be gone for a week, and they finally did it yesterday. So good for them. Let's wrap it up with a couple of calls before we get going here. Junior in the car. Hey, Junior.
Hey, great show. The thing about this whole thing with Mayo is it's not his fault, but they gave him a pass this year. He's exempt. There's no accountability. It's like in football, in 1 year you can turn things around, but he just can do whatever he wants, and there's no accountability, and he acts like, oh, whatever. I don't see that urgency.
Yeah, when they tell you that, hey, man, you're good for the year, of course, there is no urgency. You're right. Joe's in Randolph. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, hey, Joe. Like yourself, I'm having a meltdown over the Patriots, and I got a couple of points. Number one, I think Kraft deserves a lot of the blame for this because he went out and signed players on the cheap as well as coaches on the cheap. I think if they keep going like they're going, they're going to turn Mayo into Jones. If this kid gets killed the way he's been getting killed, with no receivers and no protection, I don't see how he's going to get any better. I don't see how he's going to improve and develop the skills that he needs. He'll just simply turn into another Mac Jones, and they'll have to get rid of him after 3 years.
There you go, Joe. They need a franchise coach. Don't sell me on, well, Joe, it doesn't look good across the league if you fire a coach after 1 year. I don't care. Find the right guy then and don't look for more coaches. How about that one? Well, Joe, they won't fire Mayo because, it would be a really bad look across the rest of the league. Then find the right guy to be here for 10 years. I hate that one. I don't like that one. Anyways, I do like Celtics basketball tonight. I'm in on the Bam Adebayo. I got one on the football game, though, if anybody cares. Jameis Winston's going to be throwing the ball tonight.